My name is Usman Ba, the Education Coordinator here at the African Leadership Group, and also the co-facilitator of the public speaking class. And I just want to say thank you all for joining us this evening. If this is your first time here, welcome to the family. It truly is a family. If you're returning, thank you for coming back. I just want to start off by saying, again, we are a family. As soon as you step in this door, we are one. Well, that's what we truly believe in here at the African Leadership Group. Our organization was founded in 2006 in the belief of the professional integration of African immigrants and refugees from the diaspora. As you can see, that has changed. And tonight, this month, we've been celebrating Black History Month. And what we've been doing here is really honoring ourselves and really trying to build a bridge and breaking the barriers between all of us. If you're African, you're welcome here. If you're American, you're welcome here. If you're Caucasian, you're welcome here. We welcome all races and all humans in here. So give yourself a round of applause for being here. And again, our three core pillars are focused on education impact, social impact, and economic impact. In 2019, the Governor, Jared Polis, issued a proclamation declaring August as African Immigrant Month. So every year here at the African Leadership Group, we celebrate the impact that Africans had on this country, in the state of Colorado. So join us this August again, and please visit our website at usalg.org for more information about upcoming events. And for you guys joining us tonight, what I want you to do is follow us on our social media platforms. So everything you could post on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, please just hashtag ALG, USALG. So please, if you have your phones out, make sure you hashtag us, we will repost it. Again, thank you for joining us. Tonight's gonna be an amazing evening, beautiful speeches you're gonna hear, presentations. These amazing students have been working for the past 12 weeks, and now we are here at graduation. It went by fast. And as I mentioned, this organization's been around since 2006, and that is because of one man's vision. One man saw something that nobody saw and made it a reality, and that is bringing community together. For us to be a family here, as Africans, we come here a lot of times, we're on our own, or we want to do something for just our community and not coming together and helping each other out. And that's what Papa saw when he got here, and he brought us all together. And that's why about, 17, I could do my math here, about 14, 15 years later, we are here and still standing strong. And thank you, Papa. Papa's the founder and the executive director of the African Leadership Group. And I want you guys to give him a round of applause as he comes up here.
Thank you, Uzi. And I can tell you our future is in very, very good hand for the next leaders that we are building, and start with this public speaking class. So good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you all for being here. If you are here for the first time, we welcome you part of this amazing family. And Uzi mentioned it. As an organization, we just believe in human being, and everything we do is centered around people. It doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter your background, we believe that we all can uplift each other. It's so vital and important to us that we have 13 different initiatives, and one of those initiatives is breaking barriers and building bridges among people. So we are all seeking out and welcoming people to come and help us build a better and stronger community. So while you are here this evening listening to this amazing graduates, and when you're going to be leaving, just remember one thing. You are part of this family, and we want to see you again, and we want you to invite other people, so together we can make Colorado a good place, and we can bring our contribution into building a better world. I am so proud of all the graduates that we have, and you are about to really find out what an amazing group of people they are. And when we talk about breaking barriers and building bridges, showcasing diversity, That's what you will see in this group of people. So I don't want to tell you more. You will get a chance to witness it. And when they put me here, I only have one job, is to introduce somebody that we call professor. Some of us call him dean, somebody call him brother, and I will introduce him here shortly. But as an organization, also we have a small team, but they are doing amazing work. So we have a new team member that was added, and I wanted to seize this opportunity to introduce her to the entire community. Lish, if you can join me here, please help me give her a warm welcome. She's the new event coordinator that we are very, very proud and excited to welcome her to the family. And she hit the ground and start running, typical to ALG. So I want her to share a few words and tell her a little bit about herself. Thank you.
Well, first I'd like to say congratulations to everyone graduating today. That's a big accomplishment. I'm very honored to join this family. I don't like to call it an organization because it is a family. My first event was actually for a professor's book release, and I came to volunteer to help, and it was amazing. Everybody welcomed me with open arms, and I've been next to Lori ever since, and like I said, like Papa said, I have been hitting the ground and I've been running, and I love everything about this organization, and I hope to grow as a person and to also learn from you guys as much as I could give to you guys. So thank you for having me here.
Welcome. Thank you so much. Now, and before I bring Professor, I just want to ask you, as we go through this presentation, we want everybody, if possible, to sit through the presentation and celebrate those graduates. We will leave this door open. If you need to take a phone call, if you can please step out of the building, so that way we are not really interrupting and bothering the amazing ceremony of graduations that we have tonight. So now, it is my honor, and the gentleman, when I always introduce him, people know, we always pick on each other, right? People already know the dynamic that exists between Professor and I. But this man has been serving alongside me for many, many years, and his heart for the community. And Uzi, this is 12, Cohort 12? So we have over 300 people that went through the program and graduated thanks to the dedication of Professor Majama. And I wish that we will have time to, in the near future, to bring all those people that were impacted by him in a platform so we can hear from each of them how they were impacted by this man. And the student knows more, like his heart to give, to coach, to train, to teach, to share his knowledge. That's what even led him to write a book. To write a book that talked about the 7th step of success. So please, if you haven't had a chance to grab this book, it's on Amazon. We have some copy here. Just make it a point to put your hand on that book and make it a point to read it, because now his impact goes beyond the border of Colorado, knowing that the public speaking class, at some point we had people that were joining from overseas, from Africa, from Europe. Now we're talking about the book that's traveling the entire world. So it's my pleasure and an honor to bring the man that I call a brother, at the same time a troublemaker, Professor Majama. Please, the floor is yours. Thank you. Yes, 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 yes.
Oh my gosh, wow. Thank you so very much, everybody, for being here. You know, out of all the places you could have been, you chose to spend your time with us tonight. That means a lot. So thank you 1,000 times. Now, tonight is really not about any of us. Tonight is about these wonderful people who dedicated their time, I would say their lives even, for the last 12 weeks. Sometimes it would snow outside. Sometimes they would be locked out of the door, and they would message in the group, "Can anyone let me in?" And nobody would say anything, and they would be freezing out there. But still, they never run away. So thank you so much. Like for me, this has been a labor of love. You know, when you serving your community, when you giving the little that you know, you're sharing it with your people. It can only build you up. It can only make you stronger. Because I'm one of the people who believe that a stronger individual will always make a stronger community. So when people come to the public speaking class, when we said the first time is that you are coming to study public speaking, but you will get out earning a family. And I think tonight, these people will be able to prove me right. Because maybe in the beginning, they didn't believe me. They would look at me and said, what is he talking about? This small, funny guy with a funny name telling us that we'll gain a family. Well, we already have one at home. But the one we are building here is different because it will empower you. People from day one believe in your ability to do things because we believe that we take responsibility. And I want to talk a little bit about that word, responsibility. As a community, it is our responsibility to strengthen each other. It is our responsibility to make sure that we grow as people. But the word responsibility comes in two parts. It is response and ability. So it is our ability to respond to whatever is happening around us. It is our ability to make sure that when things happen, how we respond matters. So taking responsibility just means that I want you to remember that. Now I'll make it very short. This might be my shortest. Papa, stop looking at me like that. This will be my shortest speech ever. I would like to bring somebody who tonight will be your keynote speaker. And this is important to me because when we started public speaking, I was always saying 2016 until yesterday. Papa corrected me. I hate when he's right. But he told me that we started this in 2017. I didn't know. So your keynote speaker tonight was one of the first people who attended Cohort 1. So then after 12 cohorts, we are circling back to go to the starting point. This young lady is not only amazing on her own right, she served the community through ALG for 2.5 years after volunteering many times. When she went out, she was a financial advisor at first, but transitioned to become now, to own actually, her own agency of digital marketing. And we are not taking any credit of that. But we know that we build people to serve the community, and she's no different. She's doing just that. So please help me welcome my good sister, Sylvia Karanja.
How's everybody doing today? Majama, thank you so much for that amazing introduction. You know, it's one of those things you're like, you know what? I need to record that and have that as an alarm to wake me up every morning because I feel like I'm somebody. And again, for those who I haven't had a chance to meet, my name is Sylvia Karanja. And like he said, I started off in 2017, first as a volunteer and then an employee of ALG, and I was able to be a part of the organization for 2.5 years, but I still consider this family. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. And thank you to everyone who's here to support, all the graduates, you guys, you're doing amazing. I cannot wait to hear your speeches right after this. And as I was preparing for today, I was like, what should I talk about? You know, what should I talk about? And as I was doing a little bit of research, I found out, do you know that 75% of the human population is afraid to speak in public? So whatever you guys are about to do here in a little bit, y'all should, that is a huge feat.
Because like, if you think about it, some people have quit jobs once they found out they have to speak in public. Some people are like, you know what, I'm gonna drop that class. And that person is me. I did drop a class when I found out, wait, I gotta speak in public. They're gonna record this. I was like, you know what, it is not that serious. I do not have to take this class, but here I am, you know. Funny how time changes after a while. I'm now speaking in front of a full house. We are live streaming, I believe, so a lot can change, So I remember when, I think it was Uzi who called me a couple weeks ago and said, we want you to be the keynote speaker for this graduation. I was like, first of all, no, I'm not doing that. I do not speak. I did my public speaking class and I am done with speaking. But one of the reasons I said no was because I didn't feel worthy. Because if you've been a part of ALG for quite some time, you have seen the people who have stood on the ALG stages. We're talking former presidents, elected officials, CEOs, local, national leaders. And so I was like, why me? You know, why me? But the fact that somebody believed in me enough to say, you know what, we want you to speak today. I want to say thank you. I want to honor both Majama and Papa for giving me this opportunity, and I hope I'm going to make you guys proud. But again, once I came in 2017 and seeing how far I have come, the class, the organization, what it's taught me, the skills, the tools, the wisdom that I gained, honestly, I would not be half the person that I am had it not been for this organization. But as much as I give both the public speaking and the organization so much credit, I think of it as an incubator. An incubator is an insulated enclosure in which temperature, humidity, and other environmental conditions can be regulated at levels optimal for growth, hatching, or reproduction. So if you think about it, no one is meant to be in an incubator forever. Say when a child is born and they're premature, they're taken to the NICU and they're put in an incubator. But they don't stay there forever. After some time, once they have grown to a place where their organs can survive being outside, they're taken out. And that's the same for you. Once you have received the necessary conditions for your growth, you have to get out and actually actualize your potential. So this class has given you your optimal conditions, the wisdom and the skills and lessons that you're gonna need for your growth. There's a whole world out there that awaits you. So think of even like an eagle mom. It's there for their eaglet. Once they have an eaglet, once the eaglet hatches, they stay with them for about 10 to 12 weeks, providing both food and shielding it from danger. But after that, it starts to push it out, to test it, so that they can start testing out their wings, and so they can finally leave the nest and fledge for themselves. So the first couple of flights might be a little bit clumsy, and they do fall on their face. And that's why some eaglets are probably gonna stay around their parents, half-a-mile radius of the nest for the first 6 weeks after fledging, but they so that way they can continue to receive both food from their parents during this time, but once they feel that they've got it, they fly away. So this right here, this class, this is your incubator. You have learned everything that you need. You have gotten the skills that you need to utilize in the world. Your business is gonna be better for it. Your families are gonna be better for it. Your jobs, and I even say your relationships are gonna be better for it. So, for some, this might be the transition. This might be what you needed to transition into something different, because you now feel like, I have what it takes. I have the confidence that it takes to become the person that I want to be. But whatever it is for you, I want you to go after it with a relentless pursuit, because there are rooms and there are opportunities that are waiting this new version of you. And Lao Tzu, who was the author of Tao Te Ching and also a Chinese philosopher, once said, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. But when the student is really ready, the teacher will disappear. So As you graduate today, know that you have what it takes. This is not the time to shy away. You don't have to go back to the person you were before you started this class. I mean, you guys took 12 weeks. You've come through the snow, the harsh conditions, good times, bad times, but you have stayed the course for these 12 weeks. You don't get to go back. So I am a huge believer in nothing just happens. Your purpose is in some way tied to this class, the people that you have met throughout this whole process. None of this was, I want to say all of this was very intentional. It didn't just happen. So you've probably heard about purpose quite a lot. A lot of people talk about purpose. And one of the best pieces of advice that I got about figuring out what your purpose is in life is to help somebody else achieve theirs. You want to help to carry someone else's crown before you can wear your own. Now, surveys can look different for different people. It may look like working under a business owner where you're going to learn the ins and outs of how to run a business before you can have your own. It could be volunteering at your kid's school where you get a first-hand look at what happens there, and that can also inspire your desire to maybe run for a school board position so that way you can ensure better policies and procedures are in place. But as you are serving, you are given the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to gain access to the very thing that you want to do. Muhammad Ali said it best, service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. So you might be asking, okay, Sylvia, but how do I do this strategically? And my answer is, look for the unfulfilled need or the neglected opportunity and find a way to fill it. Be it in your industry, at your current job, your families, your relationship. Find that unfulfilled need. Find something that you can do to better somebody else's life. Because when you help people get what they want, you in turn get what you want. Now, with all that being said, I'm going to give you my own personal story of how this organization and even just like the public speaking class helped me figure that out. So, the year was 2017. A friend of mine told me, hey, Sylvia, you know what? I know this guy. His name is Papa. I want you to go meet him. I'm like, first of all, Papa? I mean, I don't know. From where I am, like, Papa sounds like dad. I'm like, I'm not going to be out here calling somebody. I'm like, that in itself sounds weird. But at that time, I was working in the financial field, and I didn't feel very fulfilled. But I was like, okay, if you insist, I'm gonna go meet him. And so I went and met him. I told him about what it is that I do. And then he in turn told me about ALG, sold me the vision. If you've met Papa, you know how he goes, right? And I was like, he sold me this big vision. I'm like, wow, you're crazy. I'm like, because when he starts talking, you're like, wow, he must be that's quite the vision. Either you're gonna accomplish it or you're just crazy to even believe that. But for me, what was even crazier was when he told me, oh, by the way, we have this thing called a public speaking class. I'm like, okay, that's good. Oh, it starts today and I want you to attend. I was like, no, listen. I just met you. You're out here telling me what I need to do. I'm like, I don't know, right? So I left. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna think about it. You know how you dismiss people? Like, I'm gonna think about it. I was like, cool, I'll go. I left, went to my office, and I thought about it. And I remember it was around 4 o'clock, and class started at 5. I was like, fine, I'm gonna show up. Okay, I'll show up. There's nothing. I think it's gonna be a win-win situation. I still get to increase my public speaking skills. So, I gotta meet clients, I gotta do presentations. This will be good for me, right? Showed up, and back then we used to meet at the APS Educational Services, which is on Peoria and 11th. We didn't have an ALG office at the time, guys. We have upgraded. we did not have an office back then. So I showed up. That's why I also met my Jama for the first time. They're like, okay, this is our vision for the class. So they didn't have a track record to something we can look back and see the success of it. Like, we were the guinea pigs that they used to start this class. So I was like, they sold the vision, and something about what they said, I don't know what exactly it was. I was like, you know what? I can hook my wagon on that vision. And so I started showing up week by week. And I don't know if it's still the same till today, where you do a presentation every week based off of like a chapter of the book that you're currently reading, right? It's the same? Okay. So we started off with Think and Grow Rich, and I came in, I did my presentation. I remember I was the first one. I was like, you know what, let me just get it over with. I did whatever chapter we were doing. I did my presentation, and they were like, yo, that was really good. I'm like, was it though? They're like, you know what? They were blown away. They're like, how about you help us with this class? I was like, wow, y'all just crazy. But the one principle I held on to that has kind of, I've always stuck with throughout my life is bloom where you're planted. Again, like I said, at that time, I was kind of like in this place of like, I don't really know what I want to do. What I'm doing right now does not fulfill me. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this opportunity and I'll bloom here. And so I actually took the role of helping with the ALG class very seriously. And I became that person that would reach out to the classmates, making sure they're okay. They would at least get a call from me once a week just to check in on them. Whoever's doing a presentation, I'd meet with them. We'll probably do like a Starbucks meeting. I'd help them with their presentations. And so I figured, you know what, that'll be one less thing that Papa and my Jama have to worry about. The one thing they can count on me on is like, I can tell you where everybody's gonna be, who's coming to class, who's not gonna come. And some people never made it throughout the course of the class, not because they didn't want to, but they were just looking for a community. For them, it wasn't really about the public speaking. They loved the fact that there was community with the class, right? And so they probably needed somebody to talk to. They would call me. And I loved being that person for them, you know? And so I went from volunteer with the public speaking, and later, a couple months later, I became an employee. And so ALG was that place of service for me. Papa had a vision and was very clear about that vision at the time. And it was just me and him, you know? We were the two people working this thing. So that meant my hands were in a lot of things. I was doing a lot of things. And I knew nothing about the nonprofit, so I knew nothing about nonprofit, and then he brought me in to be the educational coordinator. I knew nothing about the education system because I'm born and raised in Kenya. I came here after high school, and I'm like, I do not understand the education system, but one thing that I did, I dived in and learned as much as I can. I would show up to school board meetings just so I can understand my role and how I can better help. So while I was doing all of that, I was able to find my true passion and that thing that kind of, lit a fire inside of me. So I found out the one thing that I really like, it was tied to music and all things creative. So I became that person that was in charge of the creative aspects of the organization, and I supported the people that did that. So I managed the digital media, I was the one doing the photos, I was updating social media pages, the website, helping people plan out the parties, in charge of the music, you name it, I was doing it. And I loved it. I thrived in that role. And then a couple years later, I went through another season of like, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what I want to do, and I went back to the whole idea of like, all right, let me help somebody else, let me serve somewhere else. And for me, that was my local church. And so by that time, I already know, like, creativity is my thing, so put me in the creative department, but I can't sing, so please don't put me in the choir. So I was able to find the production team. So I helped out with the cameras, the live streaming, the stage management, the monitors, the graphics on the monitors. Again, I loved it. If it's in the creative department, I love it, and I'm gonna do it. And then for me, church became that other incubator. And I did that for about 2 years. And I learned so much, I grew so much, and then the pandemic hit. We're not doing church anymore, like we cannot actually show up to a building. But it was in that place, it was right around COVID time when the pandemic hit my business was birthed. And what that looks like right now, fast forward, I own my own digital marketing agency called Media Light Agency, where I work alongside creatives in and out of the country, from artists, influencers, and even businesses, where I help them with their digital strategy and their branding. I also work at a startup ed company and an agency where I'm able to learn firsthand how to run a company, how to get clients, how to grow my creative skills, and in this ever-changing ecosystem of tech. So, and also to say, some of the concerts that you've probably gone to in Colorado, I've probably had my hand in it, because I'm like, if there's something happening, I'm gonna be right there. But let's not forget that thought and that idea was planted at ALG as I was serving somebody else's vision. And so I'm forever grateful to ALG, because I have met and created lasting friendships and relationships. I have grown my confidence, clearly. I mean, I'm out here speaking to you all. And I've learned and grown my people skills. But to be all who you were meant to be, you have to learn when your time has come to leave the nest and go out there and fly, because the world needs you. You do all of us a disservice when you're not walking to your full potential. So that looks like leaving the comfortable and going to the unknown. I mean, that's the reason why schools have a timeline. This class was 12 weeks. To get a bachelor's degree is 4 years, because some people, they would rather stay in that controlled environment that is a school, because it's safe, and I don't need to go out there into the unknown. But how are you going to test the language that you've acquired unless you step out? So even if that means doing it afraid, but you're not alone. I mean, look around you. You are part of a community that is here to support you in whatever way possible. And so I'm going to leave you with this quote from Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. As we let our light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence actually liberates others. Nothing liberates our greatness like the desire to help and serve. Thank you.